So what we're gonna be doing is a lot of the meta decks focus on traps and back row. Back row is the key to any deck in this game. The key is back row, in my opinion. Monster effects are good, but magic and traps make monster effects what they are. Like if you take the #1 meta deck, which is vampires right now, it's nothing without the vampire, the Grace monster effect, and the Vampire Kingdom, as well as Vampire Takeover and Vampire Domain. Right. But what we're gonna be focusing on today is traps. Traps and back row. Even traps, some magic, but mostly traps. Well, a lot of people like to put Jinzo in the fur hire decks, but we're gonna actually make a deck based around Jinzo. You understand? Because Jinzo is a card that, first of all, no one can use traps. So we can't use traps either. So how we're going to compensate for that? We're using all magic cards. The strongest of the strongest magic cards. So how we're going to do that? We're going to go Jinzo. So we're going to add our 2 Jinzos. And then also we're going to use Esperoba with the skill Psychic Onslaught. Psychic Onslaught will add a 3rd Jinzo to the deck. So we're going to use Psychic Onslaught. Now with the 2 Jinzos, we're going to use the 2 Jinzo Returners. Right? And then we're going to add Psychic Ace. It's a card that's widely used, and we're going to use it also. So we're going to add Psychic Ace to the deck. Sort this off this guy. Right. So now we're gonna add Psychic Ace, all 3 Psychic Aces, and then we're gonna add and then on top of what we're adding, we're gonna add 2 Junk Synchrons, 2 Armatis. Why? Because once we sacrifice the Psychic Ace for Jinzo, Psychic Ace goes to the graveyard, and of course Psychic Ace destroys a card. But then the next turn we can play our Junk Synchron, bring the Psychic Ace back, then Synchro Shokan into Armatis, which is perfect because Armatis disables back row also, even though so that'll take out all your Econs and your Super Hedgehogs, which coincidentally we're also going to be using. So since Jinzo cancels our traps, we're going to make a deck with no traps, and what we're also going to add is 1 Ancient Gear Golem. That's going to give us that Power Pack Punch, that 3000 attack point monster. Now what we want is to be able to rid the enemy's field while setting up our own monsters, setting up our own plays. So what we're gonna do to establish this, first thing we're gonna do, first things first, naturally enemy controller. 2 enemy controllers, that's our only limiteds. Then we're gonna go super Hedgehog. Right, so we're gonna go Super Hedgehog. We're gonna go 3 of those. Then after the Super Hedgehog, then we're gonna go 2 soul exchanges. Now what this is gonna allow is, if the opponent has a monster and we have a monster, we can soul exchange into our Ancient Golem, or if just the opponent has a monster, then we can soul exchange into our Jinzo. Now, being that we're using Psychic Onslaught, we now have 3 Jinzos also. So, you know, obviously we're trying to get it to where we always have a Jinzo in our hand. Now with that, we're also gonna add one Fairy Crush. That's to equip to the Jinzo just in case you're not doing damage with your Ancient Gear Golem because it's not out on the field. We're gonna add Fairy's Crush to equip it to a Jinzo. That way when your opponent tries to defend, because he can't activate his traps. And the good thing about it is that a lot of decks like to lay 3 traps on the first turn and then set a monster face down. Which is why when you get your Jinzo and a Soul Exchange, you can Soul Exchange into your Jinzo, and now your opponent is already off guard because they can't activate the traps. And it's not like they can pick the cards back up, so now that back row is stuck. Now they can do nothing with that back row, and all they can do is lay monsters face down trying to defend. And that's why your Fairy's Crush is going to be good, and your Ancient Golem is going to be good. Because that'll make both monsters do piercing damage. Now also what we're gonna add is 2 dark cores. Now the reason we're adding 2 dark cores is because we can dish a Jinzo to use dark core, then set the returner face down. So when the opponent destroys the returner, you bring your Jinzo back on the field. And you can either use that Jinzo is going to be destroyed in the end phase, but you can now use that Jinzo to either summon another Jinzo or Soul Exchange into your Ancient Gear Golem, or you can summon your Junk Synchron, bring a Psychic Ace back from the graveyard. Then you can synchro summon your Armatis, and they can't Canadian your Armatis because that Jinzo is on the field that turn, which allows you that free attack to get rid of the opponent's monster without any back row intervention. So we're gonna go through some replays, and this has been Lamar Mills out. We're gonna see what this deck is about. Here we're going up against Jaden Yuki. Now,
take my psychic! You don't believe I...
Time to throw down!
The first thing I noticed is
let's have fun!
Duel!
The first thing I noticed is that I drew 2 Jinzos in the first hand. Now, normally this is what you would call bricky. Now, when he summons a monster, I can always diss a Jinzo and use the Dark Core, which is why the Dark Core is good. Because I can now banish a monster that he has. But most of the time, what players have come to realize is that when you set a monster without a back row, more than likely it's Manny the Bug, Grave Squirmer, or something of that nature. Manny the Bug, Grave Squirmer, you got Yomi Ship, just anything that when they attack that monster, they're gonna lose a monster. Because you only draw 4 cards in the beginning. So what I did to try to compensate for that is I tried to play smart.
It's my turn.
And what I did,
I set
it and ended the turn.
My turn.
I didn't even. Normally I would have set my Dark Core to pretend that I had a back row, but first I didn't want to take the chance in it being destroyed, and by setting that one monster, the other player automatically thought, and this is a Manny the Bug or a Grave Squirmer. Maybe I'm running Fire King and I'm actually running a Yugioh deck. Like, so what he's gonna do is he's gonna...
I throw down, my turn's done.
He's gonna play 2 back rows.
I draw.
Now that he's played 2 back rows, now I can sacrifice my Psychic Ace for my Jinzo, which now I've disabled traps, and that allows me to destroy one of his one of his back rows, which he just played.
I summon
and I also
the mighty
drew another
Jinzo.
Psychic Ace, right?
And Jinzo is...
So, now...
I activate my monster's effect.
I just
Time
draw
for
a back
battle.
row, which
Go,
is Heroes.
Jinzo!
And I get to
Sorry,
attack.
it's your turn. I
Now
bet you
it's
wish
his
you had
turn.
psychic
Now-
powers like me.
My turn.
Sorry, now he's in a predicament because now he can't use traps. So even if he has mediocre monsters, he has no monster, so there's no chance to tribute a monster. He also has no way to use traps. So now the only thing that can actually save him is a good effect monster or a good magic card. And in the game, the chances of that is almost slim to none. Like, you don't run into game-changing monster effects and game-changing magic cards that
All
often.
I need is a.
You should
all
give
I
up.
can do is end my.
Here I go.
So what I'm gonna do
I
now,
activate my join
summon
me.
my junk sync run
I special.
to bring back my psychic age. Now
I synchro summon a monster.
Whoa, your skills are
quit.
sweet.
which is all he
Winning's
could do
never
in that
easy.
situation.
Defeating you was so easy
Because
that
the
I
duel
didn't
was
need to.
over anyway. Alright. So this time we got Akiza. She's gonna be going at us. I don't know. She didn't use
My ESP stands for extrasensory.
The first thing I noticed
My turn.
is that she didn't use the ability that puts that level 2 tuner in the graveyard. I noticed that almost immediately. So I don't know what she's running at the time, but I do know that she didn't use the ability to put that level 2 tuner in the graveyard from the start. So that was good. Now it's my turn. So what I'm now looking at my hand. I drew 2 Jinzos. That's been it's been very common to draw a Jinzo on my first hand with this deck. I don't know if it's because I'm using the ability that's up in the probability of me getting a Jinzo. If that was, then that's very unfair on Konami's part. But I noticed that I have a soul exchange. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sacrifice my junk sync run to bait out a monster to see exactly what deck she's playing, because I don't know what she's playing. So I'm gonna bait out a monster.
I set a monster. I end my turn.
What she's gonna do is gonna be exactly what I was telling you when I was making the deck.
A card.
Watch this.
I set a card.
Now you see,
I set a card. Now, I summon a monster.
Set 3 cards. Now, maybe one of those is a magic card, or maybe all 3 are traps, which is most likely all 3 are traps. So now she thinks whoever the player, I'm gonna say she because it's Akiza. Now she thinks she's up because now she got 3 back row and 1 monster. Now the wind-up juggler has a nasty effect where it did backfire, and it was a monster with 2,000 defense points that she couldn't destroy. She could destroy it with the juggler's effect. Now, I'm not worried about that because when she destroys my junk sync run the next turn, I'm just gonna soul exchange into my Jinzo.
You best get out of my. I activate my monster's effect. I'll end my turn.
I'll keep this duel going. I draw.
Now,
from my hand,
I activate
a spell.
Sacrifice
I
this
summon
monster,
the mighty
go straight into
Jinzo.
my Jinzo.
And
now,
Jinzo is gifted with incredible scanning abilities. Trap search.
Now, I have Jinzo on the
I'm
field.
setting a card.
Then I set. Okay,
Here I go.
I end my
it's
turn.
my turn.
I set
My
Fairy's,
turn.
I set Fairy's Crush because now she doesn't have a monster. So I set Fairy's Crush because if I can, I want to bait out, like, if she's only got 2 Galaxy Cyclones or Breaker Magician, I wanna draw that out now and make her use that effect. Or if she's got like a Galaxy Cyclone face down, I want to draw it out now by making her think that back row is like a enemy controller, so that when I do use my enemy controller and my Super Hedgehog, I don't want those cards to be destroyed. So I baited her with the Fairy's Crush, so I'm trying to see if any of those was back row destroying magic cards.
I draw. I'll end my turn.
Time
Now,
for battle.
She ended her turn, which means she doesn't have any monsters, and judging by it, and she doesn't have any magic.
Jinzo!
Now, Jinzo
It's
attacked
your
3,
turn.
so
I
she
bet
didn't
you
have
wish
any
you had
magic.
psychic powers like me.
That
now.
made me 100% believe, like, the fact that attack just went straight through, that made me 100% believe that all 3 of those are trap cards. All 3. So now I'm confident
Can't
that
let
I'm
fear
gonna
overtake
win
me.
this game.
What shall I do? I activate my monster's effect.
Now that was unexpected because she sacrificed 2 trap cards to play a Witch Raider, which is another good thing because, like I said, I put Various Media's Crush face down. That's not gonna do anything for me right now anyway. So, like the Jinzo was about to be destroyed, so the Fairy's Media Crush serves no point. But I did get to draw out that Witch Raider.
I'll set a battle. I'll attack with this.
Boom.
I end my turn.
I don't need to use ESP.
Feels like bad news.
I draw.
I have another soul exchange now. So, I'm just gonna sacrifice her Witch Raider to play another Jinzo.
From my hand, I activate a spell. I summon. It's your turn. I bet you wish you had psychic powers like me.
I tribute summon a monster.
She plays another Witch Raider.
Attack with this. Attack.
So
You won't get away with that.
She must have had
I end
3 in
my
her
turn.
deck because the
This
Witch
feels
Raiders
like
was
I
just
don't need to
flowing
use
out of nowhere.
ESP.
Now, I set the
I'm setting
returner.
a monster. It's
set
your
the
turn.
returner,
I
not
bet
really
you wish you
knowing-
had psychic powers like
Not
me.
really knowing how. I set the returner, not really knowing how I'm gonna proceed, but I do know what I have in my deck, and I played based on this. So now she's gonna destroy the returner, and I get a Jinzo back into my end phase. What I'm praying for is the enemy controller. That's what I was praying for. The enemy controller or the super hedgehog, so I can destroy that 2700 attack point monster and get it off the board. Then my Jinzo will be destroyed, so we start the board clean with me having 1 psychic ace in my hand and her having no cards at all, besides that 1 back row.
I draw. Battle. I'll attack with this.
Jinzo Returner's effect.
When the effect activates, I get Jinzo
I summon
back.
the.
I
So
end
now
my
Jinzo
turn.
is back.
I don't
This
need to
feels
use
like
ESP
bad
to know how
news.
this will.
Now,
I summon a monster in attack position.
now, I hit the jackpot by drawing that enemy controller. That enemy controller was completely the jackpot. Harder the cards for the win with that draw, because now this is surely game. I econ take, tribute the psychic ace, take her Witch Raider, then destroy her 1 back row. Whether or not that 1 card is a Karibo or not, this duel is over. So let's
From
just
my
watch the
hand,
finish.
I activate a quick play spell. I activate my monster's effect. You're no match for my monster.
We'll destroy her with our own monster for the win. That's how you play games.
You showed
So
me
overall,
that I
this
have
deck
much
is a
to
good
improve as a
deck.
duelist.
As long
This deck is a good deck. It's an easy deck to play with. Most of the cards in this deck are old now, so we should have enemy controller was like in tickets and things of that nature. So everybody should have the 2 enemy controllers. Super Rush Hedgehog was in the mini box. You could have got Jinzo's and Onslaught from the Esperobi event. Dark Core. You don't really have to have Dark Core. It's other magic cards you could use. Nobleman of Extermination is one that comes to mind. You could destroy your trap and banish all 3 traps. If they have any more copies, you can banish them all. So you can find a good magic card to substitute for Dark Core. And of course Jinzo Returner, Psychic Ace, all those were event cards that I just put into a deck to make them what they are. Junk Synchron was in the Stardust Acceleration box. People might not have Junk Synchron. You may not have Junk Synchron. But if you got 1 or 2 Junk Synchrons, then that combination can work. If not, then you'll have to find some other monster to use. But overall, it's a fun deck to use. I just started using it. I'm at Platinum Rank 2 now. I got up to Platinum Rank 2 using the deck. I won most of the duels. The only duel I lost was 1 duel against vampires. Because Lord knows vampires is just, that deck is almost cheating. But good luck with that. But yeah, I lost 1 duel to vampires. But overall, it's a fun deck to try. I hope everybody tries it. And I'll be back with more decks when I make them. Lamar Mills signing out. What it is, baby. Catch me on the morrow.